So, old Derek Chauvin, what's this about? They want to try to get a pardon for him on the 5th year anniversary of George Floyd being unalive. That's the crazy story. And you know that the badly bodied, beach blonde bimbo herself, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is leading the charge. And she's running to old Jimmy Crow, offshoot Donald Trump, say, can you make it happen? But they're saying this: you can do that under federal, but you can't for the state because they got his behind for 20 plus years. That's the deal. That's the way it's sealed. Why would they want to do it? Well, because that's how people think, like nationalists think. You know, when you are running a situation where you're trying to be divisive, of course you do. You want to create tension, you want to create chaos, and you like a racial divide and division. Marjorie Taylor Greene has nothing else to better to do with her time. You can only bleach your hair so much, and you can only stay eating them dirty cheeseburgers so much, and then you have to be all hokey, and you're trying to appeal to what I don't know, because nobody really pays you no mind. You're just a loudmouth, ignorant bigot, but you got nothing else better to do with your time. So I would think after Jasmine Crockett had clapped you and put you in the box that you would pretty much just go away. No one really wants to claim you, but you still come here trying to push for Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin has been unremorseful. He's been the way he's been, and nothing's going to change with that. But this is what I tell you about supremacists and power and authority and privilege. Because someone to even entertain that they feel sorry for him, that they want him to somehow be free because he doesn't deserve that and it wasn't right. And just because you're standing over George Floyd, that doesn't really mean it's bad. And it's been 5 years. He's had enough time. We got to go take him to Burger King and give him something to eat. He deserves something. That's what they try to tell you. It's just a little something. It's really not that deep. This is how they justify. And believe me, if he could pardon him fully, he would. But he can't. It don't mean he don't want to. The fact that tell you how racist the country is and institutionalized systematic it is, the thought of this even being proposed is preposterous. It's absurd. However, you do got to know where you are. You do got to know what you're dealing with, and you got to know that the people have this kind of mindset. Because if they can give a white woman almost $1 million to say the N-word to a 5-year-old black boy, what do you think they thinking in this case? It all works together. It's the birds of a feather that tend to flock together. There is no remorse. They think, well, that's come and gone. They moved on. We saw how they reacted, and and everything is a divide to conquer. So it's just a matter if you're going to jump and how you're going to be about it. But Derek Chauvin, he made his bed. He should do his time. He'd been getting away with it before. That ain't his first rodeo. You really think that was the first time? It was having to be because that young woman at the time caught it on tape. It wasn't for that, there would have been another situation of a casualty. And this happens way often than you want. It doesn't matter what's in George Floyd's system. The bottom line is that 3 or 4 officers stood over the man and prevented him from movement. They impeded his progress. They did not properly tase him or cuff him or read him his rights. They did what they did in broad daylight, and it was captured. And ain't no way where you can sugarcoat it or change the narrative. Unless, of course, you want to flex your privilege, kind of like what you do when you got 34 counts that you were convicted of, and then somehow you got able to tell the Supreme Court told you to just kind of wave it away, and you fly over the world and you do what you want. You flaunt it. Nobody seems to say nothing. It must be nice. But the reality is, for George Floyd and supporters, it's anything but nice. 5 years is a reminder. And look at where you are 5 years later. Someone who couldn't serve and protect their own country and who broke the laws multiple different ways and led an insurrection January 6, 2021, and even had his vice president's situation in jeopardy, got reelected. What does that tell you? It tells me they'd rather be divisive and destructive than to embrace. That's what it tells me. And they even thought of a pardon in this case. You have to be kidding. And psychologically, you know something is wrong, but that's the mental illness of institutionalized systematic racism that has been rewarded. And it stays being rewarded. Ben Shapiro is trying to lead the charge with it, and a whole lot of them are like that. That's when you just think that you're above everybody. And that's a separate and unequal reality we have lived in. And that does not honor anything that Malcolm X talked about, nothing that Dr. King talked about, nothing that Rosa Parks, Medgar Evers, and so many people who gave themselves to march and protest. But this is the unfortunate reality. Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another shit if you like. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm on one time. Peace.